Remote online notarization, commonly referred to as RON, is the process where documents can be legally signed and then authenticated by a duly commissioned notary over the internet. Now, just as the law requires that the party, the witnesses, if they're needed, and the notary has to be present together in a wet ink notarization process. The same applies to remote online notarization. The only difference is in a RON, the notary and the party is communicating using audio visual technology, and the documents are uploaded in electronic form onto a RON provider's document signing platform. Now, RON was enacted by Act 254 of the 2020 Louisiana legislature and codified into law effective February 1st, 2022, as revised statute 35621. Now, only commissioned notaries in Louisiana are eligible to perform RON notarizations in Louisiana. The following are the requirements for the notary. The notary must submit the required application that is on the Secretary of State site. They must pass a training module successfully and then pay a $100 registration fee to the Secretary of State. Now, Louisiana does expressly prohibit the following documents from RON transactions. Those documents are authentic acts, testaments or codicils, which are amendments to testaments, trust instruments or acknowledgments of them, donation inter vivos, meaning when the donor is still alive, and then matrimonial agreements, also known as prenups or acknowledgments of those prenups, and then acts modifying, waiving, or extinguishing an obligation of final spousal support or acknowledgement. Now, the location of the RON Act and the location of the party. The RON Act is deemed to be located in the parish where the party is physically located. So remember, this is a Louisiana notary. So they are performing it wherever the party is located. Now, if the party is not located in Louisiana, then the RON Act is deemed to be located in the parish where the notary is located. So, for example, if a signer is in California and the notary is commissioned in Lafayette Parish, then that transaction can be done remotely. Now, who initiates the RON transaction? Well, either party can. The the party can initiate it by going to a compliant RON provider, and those are listed on the Secretary of State website, or the notary can initiate it from a request from a member of the public who needs to do a transaction online. Uh, as far as security verification, the notary still is ultimately responsible for verifying the signer's ID. The RON provider technology, though, includes electronic processes that assist the notary in validating the identity of the participant. The remote online process requires the notary to use one of the following means to identify the parties and the witnesses. The first one is personal knowledge of the signer. This is just like how it is right now. If the notary knows the signer, then they do not have to check an ID. And then the other way is through a two-step process involving presenting the signer has to visually present an unexpired government issued ID that contains a photo and signature of the signer. And these are driver's license, state IDs, passport, military IDs, and such. Now, step one is a credential analysis, and this is a process through the technology provider software that ensures the authenticity of the ID by comparing it to information in public and proprietary data sources. This ensures that the ID is not fraudulent or forged. And then the other way is through identity proofing. And this is a process that ensures the person presenting the ID is indeed the person whose name and information appears on the ID. And this occurs in either of two ways. either through what's known as KBA, knowledge-based authentication. And this is where the signer is asked at least 5 questions that must be answered correctly within 2 minutes and with limited retries. Or if they miss it too many times, the notary must deny the request. And these involve past addresses, financial transactions that are questions asked about those. Or the other way is biometric uh, technology that involves scanning the signer's facial features, a voice print analysis, or fingerprint analysis. Now, currently in Louisiana, biometric analysis is not used, although the RON law does provide for it. Louisiana requires RON to be conducted through a clear two-way audio-visual communication with end-to-end encryption, tamper protection, and automated recording. So this means that they both have to see and hear each other on either side. And then the recordings must be automatic and it has to have all those protections. The entire session, the video, the audio, and the documented interaction must be recorded and maintained for at least 10 years. And it has to be in a secure, encrypted format. Usually the providers uh, handle this, but also notaries do keep copies for themselves because who knows when somebody may go out of business. Now, documents must include a statement that they were notarized remotely online. So, with all RONs, you should see that statement at the bottom. Now, electronic notarizations must include a notary's digital seal and signature. Now, these digital signatures reveal if any alterations are made. So there's a security feature in them. Now, the digital signature is unique to each notary, and it is provided by a third-party technology vendor. And then the notary must take reasonable steps to secure that the records are free from corruption, loss, destruction, and unauthorized interception. Now, RON documents are valid in Louisiana and they may also be recognized in other states and even internationally, like with an apostille. Louisiana notaries who perform RON can be found on the Louisiana Secretary of State website. And what are the benefits of RON? Well, convenience. It enables notarization without geographical constraints, increasing access and efficiency. And then there are some security and integrity measures, tight identity verification, encrypted technology, and long-term recording protect against fraud and tampering. RON is treated like an in-person notarial act, provided that all the statutory requirements are followed. Now, if you're a signer or a notary considering RON, I can help you navigate the providers, the step-by-step procedures, and which documents are eligible. Just let me know.